Okay, this is Rick Pardo, and I'm recording this to remind myself where to find files when we do the school update. Hopefully we're just doing this once a year, so chances are by the time I get back to it again or somebody starts looking at this, I'm going to forget where everything is. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to open my master file first, and I keep those in a directory in the 7 to 12 team. 712 team directory, in school data, in the master course trends. So the 0 master course trends 0405 to 0910. And we'll open that. Okay, so here's the file we're looking at. So the master 6-year trends, I've got things in red here that need to be changed, just as a reminder to myself that that's what I need to change them. Okay, primarily then I need to update the 04 or each of the years data that's been in here. These need to be updated again. Okay, to match that. So the other file I'm going to need to have open is the one that was the CSV file, or the Excel file that came from research and assessment that gives me all this data. So I'm going to open that file, which is under, I think we called that one where is it here? Pass rates for all secondary schools. So I just need last year's stuff to have a look at, because I want to add that. I've already got, for each school I've already got a file that's set up. Opening that. Okay, so here we have this. So this is the file here that research and assessment sent for this year, and you'll notice that all the schools are listed here, as I'm showing you in column B. The school numbers are here somewhere, so I got to find out whichever school it is I'm going to be doing the update for. Okay, I also want to then go File, Open, and I'm going to want to open, we'll just pick one of these here, I'll just go North Mid. Okay, looking at North Middlesex, I've already got, it just says a simple file, North Middlesex XLS, it'll have the school name with the XLS beside it. That should have the data I'm looking for. There we go. So in this file, there's the pass rates. That's a culmination of all the previous years. So this starts with 08, 09, and then in column A you'll go down, goes 07, 08, and all the way through. I need to add this most recent year's data to this list. What we also do, so this is the raw data in the first section here, columns A through to W. Now I've been having some trouble with the calculations here for the number of students in the class, this column S, as well as the number of students that have passed. They haven't been consistent with, so we got here, this one looks pretty good. But 2004, 2005 is giving me some issues, so we may want to make sure that we double check that before we leave. Starting with column Y and hereafter is how we use this to combine. So if we want to go from a 6-digit course code to a 5-digit course code, then we put in numbers. All right, we want to up the whole file. Then I'm going to take the filter off this little asterisk area. Everything that's in, we'll add data to it, and over in the here, if you notice in this area, I've got this set to truncate all the course codes to 5-digit course codes. Recently, discussions with schools, people really want to look, they're suspicious of that, what's happened with that 6th digit, so I've been including it. So all I need to do is change this to 6-digit course code. Okay, so now that pops up. Okay, I'm going to go here, and just as a reminder to myself, there's this little title. I'm going to change that and says, so reminded that is a 6-digit course code, not a 5, which is kind of obvious here. Anyway, so I'm going to take this, copy that new formula all the way through, paste it. So now I've got 6-digit course codes that everything's being filtered to. All right, So there's just that sort of thing. Now, I also need to add last year's data here. So the best way to do that is to go to my file, the pass rates file, and for this school, I'm noticing here that I'm looking for the course code 2230. Okay, so 2230, I need the most recent data for, so I go to pass rates, and I flip down to 2230. There it is, 2230. I'm going to highlight all of the 2230 stuff. Okay, so it's 2230. Copy that, flip over to my North Middlesex XLS, go to the bottom of this group, and paste that in. So there's 2230. There's the 0910 for 2230. Go to the top. I'm just going to sort this data too. Okay, I just want to make sure it's all in order when I do this. So data, sort. I'm going to sort it based on school code. That way if I screw up the school code, I'll know what's going on. I'm going to add a level. School code, school year, add another level, and then we'll make course code. And then we'll add the level gender. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's everything. So now I should get everything, sort everything that looks like it. So that's just with, now we go 2004 and should go all the way to the most recent year. Cool. Okay. And then the other thing I have to remember to do is I have to add, because now I've got more, now that I have more data in here, I need to add the calculations to the rest of the data file. So there we have it. So now we should have everything for everybody in here. Now the other thing I was thinking of is that I may need to check these numbers because the number of students is listed as 17, the number that passed is listed here, but I also have the actual breakdown of the numbers. How many students got 0 to 9 is in column I here, column J is how many from 10 to, got a mark between 10 and 19, and so on along here. So I can double check these numbers. In fact, just for safety's sake, I'm going to put a calculation here. I'm just going to put equals sum of everybody that's in the band. So from N through to R here. That should give me 17. And the number of kids that passed is going to be equal sum. Whoop. For 50 and above. There you go. And if I just take that, it saves me issues later on. Right. And then my pass rates and stuff will all get calculated based on that. I don't anticipate that would have changed too much, but you never know. Okay. Then the last thing I do, before I copy things, now that I have all the data set up, before I copy everything over, I want to filter on the unique course codes that are here. So that's what this column Z does for me. So putting the asterisk on is there. Okay, so now it's just going to be a matter of copying the data over for each group or each year. So if we look at 2004, 2005 stuff, we just copy 2004, 2005 over to AU, copy, back to the master course and trends. So look, this is 2004, 2005. Paste. So there's the stuff in there. Okay, so there's your data now. I just had a thought. Before I forget here, I'm going to actually save this file. I'm not going to save it over the master. I'm going to save it as a new file so I don't rewrite my master. And because I'm working on North Middlesex, I'm going to put North Mid in the North Mid area. And we're going to call this, change the name from Master Course Trends to North Mid. Course Trends 04, 05 to 09, 10. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to flip over to my other XLS file that's here. And again, I want to save this one so I don't forget. And this one I'm just going to save right over top because I'm super ultra confident I didn't screw anything up. Can't save it in the current format. Yeah, all right. Yes, you can. You just have to do that. Yeah, replace it. We're good. Okay. So then we just go through, and that was 2004, 2005. I'm going to do 05, 06. Same thing. So just go to 05, 06. And so on. Okay, so I just paused the recording for a second and copied all that stuff over. So we have all of the data is in each of the respective pages for data. Now the next thing I need to do is look at this unique courses, and I need to put, we need to find out what the courses are. So if I go back to the North Middlesex page, I can take a copy of everything that's been offered in the school for the last while, all the course names that are here, copy that, flip back over to the course trends file into the unique courses page, paste those in, and then what I need to do is go to my advanced filter because I want just the unique course codes here. So I'm going to look at my list range, don't go with the default because that's left over from the last time, highlight the full range. Okay, I want to copy that to another location, which I'm fine if it stays with C2, and I want to make sure it's unique records only. So there we go. So there's my unique records. Sometimes it doubles up the first one depending on the courses. I'm going to take this list of unique course codes, copy that, and put it into my summary page. That goes in the first column here. Paste that in. Okay? And it's populated and updated everything. That's very nice. Okay, so if I scroll down, I should see that I run out of black and get into some red. The red ones were left over from the last time. So I need to delete these rows because they're just extra placeholders, really. I should have enough in here to cover course codes from even the biggest schools, or the schools that offer the most diverse. This thing does pause a little bit too when it goes to update the graphs at the bottom. So it takes a while. There we go. We got stuff running here. So I'm going to highlight everything but the very last row, just to make sure I have my anchors in here for my graphs and calculations. And I'm going to delete all the unwanted rows. Wait for my file to update. There we are. I'm going to take the very last course code in black here. I'm going to take the very last one, paste it here, and then delete this one remaining row. There we go, selects that. Delete it. Okay, and that should be most of the heavy lifting done. The rest of the stuff we need to do. So now we have 274 unique course codes in the last 6 years in this case. I need to go make sure I change my this is North Mid's trends. For the last 6 years. And I want to make sure I change this to 1909. Okay, and what I might do is just change that color to black so that I'm not reminded I need to change anything. Okay, and again, before we get going too far, file, save. Okay, so everybody's is a little bit different. I'm seeing I got to divide by 0 here. Error. What's with this? For the 1 year. Usually that is due to something in there. We got some divide by 0 issues here. And these are these KC. Okay, so I saw that divide by 0, and I've gone back to the North Middlesex XLS, and what seems to be the problem is that some courses, for some reason, show up in a year that have no students in them. So we end up, when we calculate an average for the course, it ends up giving us a 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little extra piece to this if statement, so that if AS4, which is the total number of students, right, is less than 1, then we'll make it 0. Otherwise, we'll put another if in there and see if that takes it. Put it in bracket, and that should be good. And that's not working for me. What is that? Yeah, I put greater than in there, so it's got to be less than. So if AS4 is less than 1, then away we go. And so we'll copy. Whoops. Copy that all the way down, and that should take care of my situation I had for that group. There we go. So 0, so that's going to be zeros. Okay, so that should fix that. And we do it, and we just copy those back over, and that should work. Oh, okay, so that should now take care of that little problem. That's good. Now, the next thing is the dial here should be this, when the dial set it to, it should be close to what the goal percentage is. Okay, and there's a couple places we can adjust this. The calculation that's made here in this cell, A4, needs to be cleaned up here. So divide it by 5. That's pretty close. Divided by 4, 2.2. So 5, 4, 4.5. There we go. Bang on. So there's 2. And then we also want to make sure that the goal that's set for these, so if I change that to 3, it's 2.8. If we go to 4, that's 3.4. That's not bad. Okay. Now over here, we need to worry about these being the goal for the marks and the goal for the percentage improvement, or pass rates rather, because percent pass rates is an indicator of improvement, that they line up. So I want this 3.2 to be closer to the 2 that I've shown here. So we'll go to the far right. We look at this cell. Okay, and this cell here, the AI6, does a quick little comparison for me to see how close I am. I'm off by 1.2. So again, if I just tweak this a little bit, if I change that to a 1, it makes it worse. So I'm going to go here and make this a 2. And now I'm within 0.1, so pretty close. So now my marks, and my goal for my marks, and my goal for my improvement, school improvements with terms of pass rates should be similar. There we go. So 2.8 versus 2.9. We're good to go. Leave it at 2. The last thing I need to remember to do with all of this is to put the sheet protection on. Okay? So I protect the sheet. I gotta make sure that the objects are editable. And I can edit scenarios as well. The other thing I might want to do, before I get to that though, is to shrink the size of my file down a little bit by taking some of the calculations out of this. And I got to be careful. I can only do a copy and then paste special where it's values only in the year stuff. I can't do it in the area where we're calculating goals and things. So I'm going to copy that. Actually, those are pulled out too. So I can go right from B. I can go from B all the way across to the end of the last year. Go to the bottom of the file. I'm going to leave the bottom and the top intact just in case I need to copy that later. So copying that, then I go back to pasting in a special. And just the values. Go back in there. Significantly reduces the size of the file and makes it responds a lot faster. So now I'm ready to go and put my sheet protection in. Protect the sheet. Make sure that they can edit objects and scenarios. Click OK. And save the file. And that should just about do it. Hopefully